so. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted, and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be you. The world awaits to receive you.
All right. Blessings. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. And you're here with your host, Grace Levi. Yes. And we're coming tonight with a special episode. We're going to be continuing talking about Atlanta news. Okay. Over the last couple of months, we've been periodically putting videos out about what was going on with Fani Willis, what's going on with her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, and all of that debacle, as well as the election issue they were having about the votes. We saw that hearing, and we just most recently watched Judge, let me just make sure I have his name, Judge McBurney, hearing that he had a few days ago with Judicial Watch and Fani Willis. And this was in regards to a Freedom of Information request. So I said, okay, this is the perfect time to do a deep dive, a little breakdown of what's going on, because we're at a climax in this particular situation. Now, just a few minutes ago, I was standing there and I was staring at the air, y'all. And my son was like, what you staring at? What you thinking about? I said, well, I was kind of thinking about what's my angle for this particular episode, but then I had to think about it. I don't have any angle because I'm not Democrat or Republican, so all I can do is report to you the facts of what is going on and how, at the end of the day, me, you, no matter what your political party is, us as the lower class citizen, and you're gonna have to say that we're not the rich elites. We're the one that's going to suffer or split the bill, and that's what it leads to. Okay, so all of this, actually, you know what this starts from? This starts from the insurrection, as well as allegedly the voter suppression issues that was going on in the first round of Trump first pregnancy. I said pregnancy, presidency. Okay, so now you know that Trump is back in the White House. This guy is on a rampage. Okay, he's going after anything and everything, be it every special department, from the FBI to, as we said, the federal education system to Social Security, everything. But he's definitely going after the people who went after him. So this is February 26th article by Newsweekly. Donald Trump turns tables on Jack Smith as special counsel faces probe. Now, that's, if you don't know who Jack Smith is, we're going to put him on the screen because we got to make sure that everybody's informed, because he's the man in the middle of this. He was the former special counsel of the DOJ that went after Trump. Okay, so let's just watch this. Trump signs executive order targeting law firm that worked with Jack Smith. Now, this is where the doozy comes in, because it's not just targeting political figures. Now, anyone associated with them or even work with them, Trump is putting on his radar. So let's just watch this, because this says a lot about what times we're in. Okay, hold on, where am I?
Everybody listening? Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening?
All right.
Deranged Jack Smith. We're going to call it the Deranged Jack Smith signing or bill.
One law firm that provided pro bono legal services to the special counsel's office under Jack Smith's leadership was Covington and Burling. As a result of those actions, we're now going to be suspending and putting under review the security clearances for the attorneys and employees at that firm who worked with Jack Smith's team. And we're going to continue holding the people who were responsible for the weaponization of government, who supported it, accountable for what they did.
And you'll be doing this with other firms as time goes by, right?
We're looking at sort of the whole panoply of options.
The weaponization of our system by law firms, even pro bono work they're doing just in order to clog up government, stop government. And nobody knows about it more than me. And hopefully that'll never happen again.
So now the weaponization of the White House against other government officials and private entities. So why this matter? Trump has repeatedly vowed to prosecute those who had indicted him by targeting a firm that assists Smith. Trump is signing that he will target. Well, he is signaling Sorry, I do apologize. He is signaling that he will target even those who offer legal advice to his enemies. Okay. And you remember that when they were trying to have like educational programs for the migrants to let them know they right, he was literally saying, hey, if you do that, then we're gonna lock you up. I forgot what he was saying that he was going to charge people with, but this man is literally using the system just as bad as he said the system was used against him. Okay. So this is where we're at today, years old. Now, let me see what else they say. It says, what to know. Smith had taken 2 cases out against Trump, one for allegedly illegally interfering with the 2020 election and for the alleged Harold presidential record in Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. So they was looking for some type of records. And I think that probably had to do with Epstein, but let's move forward. Both cases were eventually dropped when Trump was elected president. And this is what makes this situation so like hard to swallow. Because some of the people that he's going after, like what we're going to talk about, Fani Willis, we already know that she's a detriment to our community out here in Atlanta. But at the end of the day, these politics, you're going to see who actually loses in the end, because she ain't going to jail for her stuff. He ain't never going to jail. And at the end of the day, taxpayers going to pay. So on February 25th, Trump signed a memo suspending the federal building security clearance of employees at Covington and Burling law firm in Washington. Legal advice. The firm had provided free legal advice to Smith after it became clear that Trump might prosecute him. I wonder how he figured that out. Trump memo also blocked the firm from any government contracts. This is a problem. This is a major problem. If anyone supports this, they support totalitarianism. This is what's going on here. This should not happen. Basically, this is the same thing that was going on in Dalton, where if you have any political ties to anyone outside of the elected official, we were going after you. You're going to be fired. You're not going to get contracts. This is just screaming illegal. But it's so weird how this is seeming to be so like not illegal in the eyes of some reporters. I'm just astonished. All right. So let's just move on. I want you to kind of get an idea, because this rolls on into a lot more. Okay. There's a lot more. Okay. So, okay. You got Jack Smith. He's shaking in his boots. White House suspend active security clearance for Covington and Burling lawyers, as we talked about. I'm going to see if there's anything else in here. Okay, so this is, hold on one second. That was the latest update as of February 25th. So we're going to kind of go back a little bit and read Jack Smith unsealed court filings that say Trump resorted to crimes after 2020 election. And this is what Trump is mad at. Let's get it on the screen, because if you don't know who Jack Smith is, we're going to get to know him today. Okay, so Donald Trump laid the groundwork to try to overturn the 2020 election, even before he lost, knowingly pushed false claims of voter fraud and resorted to crimes in his foul bid to cling to power. Okay. According to the new unsealed court filings from the prosecutors, the office knew evidence from the landmark case against the former president. So this actually fell, as you see. Taxpayers' money Federal money went towards this and it fell. A lot of the things that were brought in this, it seemed pretty vague to me. We're not going to go deep into it, but it seems like they were trying to piece the puzzles together the same way Fannie did in the RICO trial, and the same way Fannie was trying to do against him in Georgia voter fraud charge. Okay. So I wanted to show you this case. This was United States versus Donald Trump. We're not going to read this one. What we're going to get into is the latest one that has to do with Judicial Watch. Because this goes this right here runs all the way into what we watched the other day, Judicial Watch. So the filing from Special Counsel Jack Smith team offered the most comprehensive review of the date of what prosecutors intend to prove if the case charging Trump was conspiring to overturn the election reaches trial. It didn't. So a month-long congressional investigation. Now you got to remember that it was a congressional investigation, and also we're going to get to where Fani was actually summoned and did not show up. She's so disrespectful. Okay, so what? The filing quotes Trump as telling and aiding after being advised that his Vice President Mike Pence has been rushed to a secure location after a crowd of violent Trump support stormed to the U.S. Capitol on June 6th to try to prevent the counting of the electoral votes. So let me read the quote. It says, what does it say? Through the month-long congressional investigation and the indictment itself have stark details Trump efforts to undo the election. The filing cites previous unknowns accounts offered by Trump closest aides to paint a portrait of increasingly desperate president who while losing his grip on the White House used deceit to target every stage of the electoral process. Now, this is what I'm saying. They never had any, I'm gonna be honest, any real hardcore evidence that Trump actually said, hey, you're part of electoral college. I need you guys to vote for me. You better vote for me or we're going to have a problem. That is one of the main ways that I can see that Trump will have direct influence over the U.S. election, the presidential election. The popular vote, as I say, is the popular vote, but what actually choose the president is the electoral college. So all the rest of this, what he's saying, as I say, a lot of people use a lot of dirty politics, but I don't think that constitute him rigging the election. Now, the insurrection, I will say this. There was signal words or allegedly words that he used to incite people. I will say that. And that's been going over a series of months. And both sides does that. But it depends on how far their followers will go. As far as committing violence, that's why I was so funny about what was going on in Dalton, because I know we're having a misconception or so wrapped around a political party could lead you down a yellow brick road to doing something crazy like this, something like what they did during January 6th. Okay, people got hurt. Even though I think that there were some portions of January 6th, if you watched it, seemed a little rigged, meaning there was a point that I saw in some videos that the security guards or the police down there just let them in, just said bump it, and they just came on in. And I was like, wow, what is going on here? So Fani Willis ordered to give watchdogs all communication with Special Counsel Jack Smith. Now, around that same time, you had Fani going around saying Trump is guilty. Trump is guilty of trying to rig the election. He's guilty of the January 6th. And she was basically prosecuting him through the news. Okay. And that was some issues that was brought up about her saying certain things while she's, public, saying how he's a criminal, he's this, that, and the third. which allegedly leads to him not having a fair trial. So let's watch this real quick, because this is how Fani Willis comes into this particular situation.
Fulton County DA Fani Willis is hitting back at her critics as she fights an appeal that would remove her from former President Donald Trump's election interference case in Georgia. Jonathan Seri's live in Atlanta. He's got more on this for us. So Jonathan, Willis gave a speech today. So how was that received?
Yeah, she did indeed. She actually got a standing ovation. This was a very supportive crowd. Speech took place at the Georgia district meeting of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, that meeting taking place here in Atlanta. Fani Willis proclaimed.
This one, she was calling Jesus down and all, talking about this was God saying, I'm coming here to do God's job, wasting the people money. Let's go. Hold on, let's finish.
Claimed, quote, justice is coming for the unjust, and accused her critics of racist and sexist attacks.
See, I'm so tired of hearing these idiots call my name as Fani in a way to attempt to humiliate me. Because like silly schoolboys, the name reminds them of a woman's rear.
Fani Willis is fighting former President Trump's efforts.
That was funny.
To get the Georgia Court of Appeals to remove her from prosecuting the Georgia election interference case. Back in March, her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, resigned after the judge ordered that the pair could not prosecute the case together. The defense alleged that their previous romantic involvement created a conflict of interest. Here's what Wade said about that in a CNN interview.
What I believe is this whole conversation is a distraction. That's all. It's a tool to stop the train, to slow down the inevitable, which is the trial of the defendants named in the election interference case.
Do you believe the trial ultimately happens?
Absolutely.
And Wade predicted that if convicted, Mr. Trump would face sentencing, as would any other defendant. Sandra?
Okay, Jonathan Seri live in Atlanta on that for us. Thank you.
All right, so as the story continues, Fani, she was petitioned by Judicial Watch for some particular documents, and she would not release the documents. We're going to get to that article. We're going to get to that real quick. The Fulton County District Attorney Office declined this week to turn over any new communications between the District Attorney Fani Willis and outgoing Special Counsel Jack Smith. Now, this is how these two get connected, asserting in the new court filing that the document either do not exist or are exempt from disclosure under Georgia law. The update was shared Tuesday on Judicial Watch, a conservative legal group that sued Willis in March 6 after her office denied having any records of communication between Willis and Smith, or between Willis and the House January 6th committee. So this is where collusion comes in, because you have the feds and the state working together to allegedly prosecute Trump. Okay, so then you have Judicial Watch that comes in and asks for the paperwork through a Freedom of Information request, and that's what you see. So us watch, where you remember we had that contentious, they were so contentious, the Freedom of Information officer, the director was being so disrespectful to Miss Merchant. We're going to kind of tag some of those videos so you can kind of put the picture together, because we always kind of try to hit this subject when it's at the climax, so we can put the whole thing together, get y'all caught up. So now she continues to deny. She lost that hearing. You remember she lost. And then again, they had to go back and have another hearing that we just watched, because the first one was with the female judge. And then the second one the next one that they just had was with Judge McBurney. Okay. And he seemed pretty fair. So let's go into our next little article, because I want to bring y'all down to the timeline before we actually get to the lawsuit and where we're at now as a community and where Fani Willis sits, okay? Because she's a hot mess. The DOJ ordered to turn over Fani Willis files. This was February 9th. Again, In another legal victory for the Judicial Watch, the federal court has ordered the U.S. Department of Justice to furnish all available files they have on any communication between now former special counsel Jack Smith and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis pertaining to the prosecution of President Trump. So he's trying to do it from both sides. He was doing it from Fulton County side and the DOJ. Okay? Smart guy. So he's going to compare and contrast what they have. So again, they refuse to turn it over. The court order comes after the DOJ still objected to handing over information even after the Trump prosecution was shut down because he is the president. And this woman right here, she still vows to go after him for 2020 election. This is no when you're dealing with blind ignorance and pride. It just does not make any sense. So now let's hold on. What is this? Let's see. Hold on. What happened to my make sure to hold on 1 second, y'all. One of my things went down real quick. So now this brings us to, I believe I was about to share Judicial Watch update from their YouTube page. Obviously, you're saying am I a robot? Why do the computers ask you, are you a robot? When obviously they the robot. Hold on 1 second. I'm don't pay no mind to me. All right. Well, we're about to go on Judicial Watch's page then, because obviously it's having a little issue switching it over. I had it up already, but sometimes when you have it up too long, it shuts down. So I'm going to go on Judicial Watch main page, and it looked pretty busy, but it's actually it gives you good updates. Okay, so this was the hearing document. Let me make sure. Let's go to this page. This is where the page we're looking at is where you can search all the videos and everything. But I'm actually just want to go straight to the update on Fani Willis, and we'll get to look at the article that they just did. They did a great update. I like the way they do things. Check this out, because it made it so easy for us to actually track what's going on. So in this article right here, this is brought to you by Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch, Fani Willis document scandals, court hearing set. So this was February 26th. Now we have an update, and this is on Judicial Watch announced today a hearing will be held on February 28th. That was the one that we watched before the Judge Robert McBurney of the Superior Court of Fulton County in Georgia on a motion for in-camera private inspection and appointment of a special master. So you remember we talked about that and how if they get a special master to oversee this, I really think it would be an issue. To oversee the District Attorney Fani Willis search for records of communication with Special Counsel Jack Smith and the House January 6th Committee. The hearing notice stated the courtroom will be open to parties and the public, but the parties are free to participate remotely. A link to view the hearing is available, so we share that with you. So then moving forward, Judicial Watch filed a lawsuit in March. This was the lawsuit in March originally that we're gonna look at after Fani first denied having any records. So we're gonna look at that. And I really sympathize with this because it seemed like this is exactly what I'm going through, where they like, we don't have anything or they're not responding and it's other things going on. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure that I got the most latest update for you guys before I move forward. Judicial Watch press release. All right, this is what I wanted to watch real quick because it had took us off. I wanted y'all to see a press release that was done. What happened by Judicial Watch? Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to go on their page. I want to show you Judicial Watch page in the last update that they had about this. Well, that thing is giving me a hard time. Thank you for being here today. All right. Order to receive the payment. I don't know why is it giving me a hard time. All right, let's just get back to this article, and then we're going to click through as we look for. So we have the lawsuit from March 24th, where Willis falsely denied having any record responsive to the Judicial Watch earlier Georgia open record request. This communication with the special counsel Jack Smith office. All right. So after finding Willis in default, the court ordered a hearing on December 20th, which resulted in an order. So we have that order that found Willis liable for fees and expenses that shall be paid within 2 weeks of the entry of the order. So this was an amount of $21,578. The court then ordered Judicial Watch $21,578 attorney fees and court costs. So Wells Operation made the payment to Judicial Watch 10 days after the court. That payment was not made by Fani. Okay, that was made by the taxpayers out here. So thanks to the lawsuit, Willis family admitted to having records showing communication with January 6th committee, but refused to release all but one document in response to the court order. Now, when we were listening to the video, the Judge McBurney was like, well, if it's 110, I can review it. And then it went to like 100 and another number, then it was like 200. I'm like, how many pages do we have from going from none to 200? All right. That is game. It's game and it's BS. Hold on one second. Sign in to confirm. I'm signed in. I'm trying to get to his video, but it won't let me get to his video for some apparent reason. But I will. So it says all but one document, all in response. That's all they respond. So she cited a series of legal exemptions to justify withholding of the communication with the January 6th committee. The only document she did release is one already public letter on January 6th committee chairman. Special Watch subsequently filed a motion asking the court to appoint a special master to oversee Willis searching for records in the lawsuit, and that the court to conduct a private inspection of any records found. So this is what we were talking about. So in a recent case in January 2025, the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia, issued an order to grant the $21,000 of attorney fees and costs and open records. So this is the payment that was received. This is a little bit more. Before his appointment, let's say this is Special Jack Smith. Before his appointment to the investigation and prosecute Trump, Special Counsel Jack Smith previously was at the center of several controversial issues. This is the IRS scandal among them. In 2014, the Judicial Watch investigated revealed that the top IRS official had been in communication with Jack Smith, then public integrity section, about a plan to launch criminal investigation into conservative tax-exempt groups. More targeting. In January 2024, Judicial Watch filed lawsuit against Fulton County, Georgia, again for the records regarding the hiring of Nathan Wade. They've been on they ass like kryptonite. So it had all of that. Remember, I was mentioning about the Nathan Wade. I knew it had to do with the name. I was waiting because I knew that they subpoenaed that. So it says, so in January 2024, Judicial Watch filed lawsuit against Fulton County Georgia, for records regarding the hiring of Nathan Wade and the special prosecutor of the district attorney, Fani Will. No, special prosecutor by district attorney, Fani Willis. Wade had hired to criminally investigate and prosecute against former President Trump and others over the 2020 election dispute. So we know about that. We know how that ends. Okay, so that's kind of like a briefing of how all of this got intertwined with each other. I hope that makes sense. It started with him saying election fraud, them saying election fraud, like he tried to rig the election abstractly, and then the insurrection. But then you had Judicial Watch coming in as a private conservative entity who, have a history of looking for these type of documents and things like that to reveal government, corruption, got involved. Okay, so they was freedom of information and request everybody who they could think of at this point, even up to the point that they did the DOJ, they did Fani Willis, as well as going back and trying to find out information about Nathan Wade. And to this day, you will hear Fani Willis still say that she's going to go after Trump. She just her appeal, she just reiterated the appeal, because the appeal was put in a little bit before January, and she don't care. She still is moving forward. Now, this was just the letter that was sent to Fani when she was supposed to come to the Congress, and she never came. Right here, this was the last part of the lawsuit, but this was the lawsuit that Judicial Watch had put against Fani Willis, and this was the Freedom of Information lawsuit. So this is basically stating everything that we have stated as far as making an open record request, them saying that they didn't have any documents, and then you'll see as time go on, proven through this exhibit, you'll see Exhibit 2 right here. This was the reply from Fulton County. It says the Fulton County District Attorney is in receipt of your open records request. However, please simplify your request. Don't that sound familiar? So they must have altered it, and then they simplified it. And then it says, after carefully reviewing your request, we do not have the responsive records. Yeah. All right. So then this was the next exhibit. Okay. So this was brought to Fani's attention by the Congress of the United States. Okay. And I'm not gonna call her Fani. Her name's Fani. She said don't call her Fani, like the butt. To the Committee on the jury continues to conduct oversight of the political motivation prosecution by the state of local officials. Although we are aware that your office have coordinated its political motivation prosecution with the Office of Special Counsel Jack Smith, we recently learned that your office also coordinated its investigation actions with the partisan select committee to investigate. They don't say bipartisan, they say partisan select committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States. These are not supposed to have anything to do with each other. And this is where the collusion come in. And this is some of the things they're not supposed to do. This is why they always messing up. Accordingly, we're writing to request documents relating to the investigation coordination between your office and the partisan January 6th selected committee. On August 24th, 2023, we wrote to your request. Requesting production of 3 categories of documents to advance the committee oversight of political motivated prosecution by the state and local official. Your reply letter dated September 7, 2023 failed to adequately address the committee's request and made several baseless excuses for refusing to provide the requested documents. We wrote again on September 27, 2023, explaining in detail the legal deficiencies in your position and offering as a sign of good faith to prioritize the production of the certain documents so that minimize any potential burden on your office. You respond to the committee on October 11, 2023, rejecting our offer as accommodation and instead resorted to an horning attack and horning anohin and horning. It's anohin. It's basically saying like I'm saying the word wrong, but you're acting like how can I say, like, okay, I'm trying to give a good example where you'll say to a lawyer, you're acting like a criminal. You are a criminal. Your behavior is like a criminal. Anohim. I'm saying it wrong, but that's what they're trying to say. Where you're somebody in their professional capacity, you're calling them out so disrespectful and outrageously that is not only unprofessional, is disrespectful. Okay. And that's what she was doing to the oversight committee with her response. Okay. So I do apologize, but y'all got what I was saying. So recently, the committee became aware of cooperation between your office and the partisan January 6th selected committee. We are in possession of a letter dated December 17th, 2021 that enclosed from you to Rep. Bernie G. Thompson, chairman of the partisan January 6th selected committee, requesting access to the congressional records that may be relevant to our criminal investigation. You asked Rep. Thompson for access to records, including but not limited to records and transcripts of witness interview disposition electronically and printed records of communication or records of travel. You even offered that you and your staff were eager to travel to Washington to meet with the investigators in person and to receive these records anytime between January 31st, 2022 to February 25th, 2022. And this is where you mess up, because if you felt like Trump was doing something, you should have done things correctly. And that's what I see here with Fani. Fani had be having no type of evidence. She goes on how she feel, her intuition, and put a whole bunch of things together and say, we're going to kind of like put this sounds like this, and we can plug it into this, and we're going to put it together and make a crime. I don't know who taught Fani Willis to be a lawyer or a prosecutor, but she severely fucking sucks. That's why the YSL trial ended the way it did. And the only reason why she got prosecutions out of there, her office, because those guys were sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay? I'm going to be honest, because I just go to the left. It still had his way. Still would have took that case all the way to the end, because he did not want to give up. All right, so this is the office of the Fulton County District Attorney, Atlanta. What is this? So this was her letter to the selected committee to investigate the January 6th attack. All right, is this from? Yeah, this was from Fani. As you may be aware, I'm conducting a criminal investigation of a possible attempt to illegally interfere with the administration of Georgia 2020 election, a general election. Through news reports, we are aware that your committee is interviewing witnesses relevant to our investigation. We understand from the same report that your committee investigation may have collected records relevant to our investigation. Please accept this letter as an official request from me to access the records that may be relevant to our criminal investigation. Those records include, but are not limited to, records and transcripts of witness interviews, disposition, electronics, and printed records of communication and records of travel. This is how bold Fani Willis is. Straight bold, and put it on a letterhead. Okay? Put it on a Fulton County District Attorney letterhead, evidence to be used against her, because she can just do anything. That's why she's going to get exactly what she's going to get. I can't even believe that these people got her back into the office. Okay? So not only is Miss Fani pushing to try to continue to indict Trump. Now, listen, Y'all, I'm not saying that Trump don't need to be feeling the heat. I do believe he needs to be feeling the heat. Hey Jerry, I'm gonna get to your comment. I do think need to be feeling the heat, but not at the expense of the people. Fanny only vision was power, so she never planned on being left behind after the president election or Trump winning. No, she thought, I don't know, she probably thought she was gonna be right next to Kamala. That's what she thought was gonna happen, but it ain't happen, baby. Why was Fanny documents not classified to protect the judicial system and what the Democrat political machine was doing? So why wasn't it classified? What do you mean? Why was Fanny documents not classified to protect them? It shouldn't have been. She shouldn't even have been calling the federal government to give her information related to her crime that took place in Georgia, because they don't have jurisdiction over here, and unless they found something directly and they felt like they wanted to send something, she shouldn't even send that letter to them. She lost her ever loving damn mind. She just don't care. It was proven that the votes missing checkpoints and show up down the process. Those were the voters immediately after the polls closed after being certified, and that's fact, not fiction. It was proven that the voters missing checkpoints and showed up down the process. Those were the voters immediately after the polls closed before being certified. And that's facts, not fiction. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I do know someone who worked the polls that year, and we were talking about it this year, and she said something similar. I know she said that when she left, they wasn't finished counting. Then all of a sudden the polls shut down in Georgia, and she was like, how they shut down without finished counting? And then she said in the morning it was just a slew of votes that came in. So she definitely said that something happened weird in Georgia, not this election, but the election before. And that's why they were so vigilant this year and having the hearings that they were having. So now all of this leads to Judicial Watch getting paid, his lawyers getting paid, people who worked with Mr. Jack Smith law firm, private institutions are being targeted, which that president is being set that they're going to target other private institutions if you go after government officials who right now is on Trump's side. Obviously, we're living in a Trump and Elon world. A little bit weird, but this is what we got to go through. We picked it, we got it. So now Fani Willis' office could be forced to pay Trump legal bills. Yeah, it gets better, but it's not Fani. It's not Fani because she don't give a damn. How she just like Tiffany, like sue me, because she don't care, because she bonded. That office got to pay for it. Fani Willis' office could be forced to pay Trump legal bills with taxpayers' dollars after she was disqualified due to secret romance. Okay. And this was March 10th. All right. Let's see if there's anything. Hold on one second. Let me see something. Let me go to Fox, Atlanta Fox, because that one want a subscription. They're acting weird to us. This is what it leads us to. Fulton County paying for the Freedom of Information request, as well as right now, the people may have to pay Trump legal bills. Okay, here we go. So Georgia Senate passed bill Georgia Senate bill, because look what we got. He got all levels kind of tilted over towards the Republican side. That's why I say all of these people who went after Trump, I knew it was going to be a problem. I said they set themselves up for failure. I didn't know he was going to be the president, but I just knew to see they use a lot of black Republicans to do it. I'm going to be honest, black woman Republicans to do it. I said, this is a setup. And it was. And look at them now. Georgia Senate passed bill allowing Trump and co-defendant to seek legal free reimbursement if a prosecutor is disqualified. Fani Willis also disqualified from the election interference case due to her relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. Republicans also pushed to investigate Stacey Abrams over allegedly campaign coordination and unverified funding claims. They're going to find anyway. Stacey, you're next. I just said it. Like these politics is, I feel bad for y'all. So here's the Senate bill enables counties to reimburse attorney fees. The counties, not the state, not the person who bringing all the trouble like Fani. The counties to reimburse attorney fees and other legal costs in criminal cases affected by prosecutors' disqualification. They made a special bill for Fani. That's how ridiculous this was. Georgia Senate Minority Leader Harold Jones II, a Democrat from Augusta, argued that the bill could have border implication behind Trump's case. If you have that young person possession of marijuana, whatever it may be, and the prosecution has done something wrong, and that case is dismissed because the prosecution did something wrong, they're entitled to have their attorney fees back. Jones said that's actually something that we probably would have to push many years ago. We would have to push many years ago. Another bill passed Thursday grants subpoena power to Georgia State and House Committee, adding to the legislative oversight authority because obviously Fani wasn't showing up to none of the committee meetings. She didn't give a damn how much she was subpoenaed. She's disrespectful. Okay, just disrespectful. So what's next? The Georgia Senate investigate into Willis' conduct remains unresolved. The special committee was created last year to examine allegations of misconduct. Doesn't it sound like what's going on in Illinois, where they had to come up with a special bill for the mayors? They had to come up with a special something for our prosecutors out here because of this lady. So a special committee was created last year to examine allegation of misconduct, including her hearing of Wade. The committee attempted to subpoena Willis, but she did not appear. And judge later ruled that they had the authority to compel her to testimony. So what was next? Why she didn't go to jail? Nothing. Didn't lose her job. Didn't lose a wink of sleep. This shenanigans at this point. It says now a later Governor Burt Jones and other Republicans are shifting their focus to investigate Stacey Abrams. They are looking into recent ethics findings that her voter participation group, New Georgia Project, improperly coordinated with her 2018 Grand Nordal campaign. They coming after y'all. Y'all done messed up all of these politics. And guess what? Guess what happens, y'all? Nobody suffering but us. Taxes going up. Millionaires getting richer. We not getting paid more. And we here just all like, who did it? Who did it? Who did it? And hey, can we raise the debt ceiling? And when they raise the debt ceiling, guess what happened? More money is printed. Honestly, to sum this up in the end, I really do believe that at the end of the day, instead of us spending more money into trying to prosecute people and, bring these frivolous lawsuits based on behaviors that is not even, in certain laws, policies, and not being enforced by those officials. So that means that we have to fix the laws, fix the policies, get rid of the officials that's not following the rules and regulations. And the only way that's going to happen if we pay attention, people. We can't let them keep shenanigans us around because at the end of the day, guess who's losing? It's still because when you look at now what Trump is doing, no matter what, he's doing exactly what she's doing, using his political power to prosecute, to go after. But now he's not going to go after just elected officials. He's going after the regular person. Even though me and you are not a lawyer, you don't look at them as regular people. They are. All of them are not into politics. They're just into law and representation. So if he's scaring lawyers and law firms from representing certain people, subject matters. What's going to happen when we, the people, go to these law firms and we don't even have the money or the back end like Fani Willis? So that's why I think we have to shift our focus on what's the actual issue out here and start addressing our Congress members, our senators, our public officials like mayors, whatever, trustees, to fix actual policies and how those policies are going to be implemented. This is the best thing to do right now because no policies has been implemented properly on most government levels. This is why you have Elon Musk and Trump coming out talking about there is all of this waste and abuse. You have one side saying they dismantling the system, and then you got the other side saying, oh, they found $1.3 billion going to an empty building. Excuse me. And then guess who's there in the middle being confused, playing ping pong? Us. So honestly, to be monkey in the middle and be real for the people, I think that we have to focus on policies and system building. The way that Elon and Trump is going into the system and dismantling everything and just pulling it apart is not the right way to do it. We have to play that part in reconstructing the system, us the people, and it's not, oh, you chose him, so everything that person says or do, we are with. That is not how it works. Plain and simple. So we're gonna have to find a way, people, to get a grip on our system because our system sure enough got a grip on our ass, our tax money, and our whole psyche. Because we over here tripping as a people, okay? So we got 4 more years of this, man, and a whole lot of this, ma'am, and you're going to see a whole lot of me that's going to be giving you some good trending news. So I just want to say how you support this channel. I will ask you guys if you can hit the like button and subscribe. That's free. And you can donate $2. All we ask you to do is donate $2. $2 count. That is going to go to help us with production. That's also going to help us go to research. There's a lot of different things that we need to purchase to actually do better research and as well as bring you better production. All right, it's going to take time, so I think $2 will be good. Hit the like button. We don't ask for much, and as you know, 10% of our monthly proceeds on this channel goes to our beautiful Alexis Wilson. Again, we're going to continue to talk about the police state in America, how the blue line is actually drawn against the people, and when it hits the fan, we're going to be the ones that suffer there. So until next time, y'all, thank you for being here with Grace. You guys have a great evening.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be you. The world awaits to receive you.
Would you like to learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that it is a guaranteed method to get up to 18 to 20% return on your investment? Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low, for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.